The lights of the Royal Shakespeare Company's theatre had never burned brighter, or darker. For weeks, the RSC's new production of Macbeth had been the talk of London. The cast was extraordinary, the sets breathtaking, and the buzz surrounding Sam Heughan's portrayal of the tortured Scottish king had reached a fever pitch. Critics called it career-defining. Audiences hailed it as spine-chilling. But behind the curtains, something was breaking. Rumors began as faint whispers, the kind you could almost dismiss. But soon, they grew too loud to ignore. A tabloid headline screamed, "Chaos behind the curtain. Macbeth scandal rocks the RSC." Nobody knew what it meant. Yet within hours, the internet was ablaze. Anonymous crew members claimed there were heated arguments between the director and the cast. Others hinted at creative sabotage. Someone even suggested the production had fallen under the infamous Macbeth curse, the superstition that haunts anyone who dares to utter the play's name backstage. At the center of it all was Sam Heughan. To the public, he was the perfect Macbeth, commanding, haunted, and magnetic. But inside the rehearsal room, tension was rising. Sources said Sam had clashed with the director over the play's ending. He wanted Shakespeare's original, brutal conclusion, raw and uncompromising. The director preferred a more modern, symbolic finale. The disagreement, once creative, had become personal. A leaked email didn't help. It hinted that an unnamed lead had threatened to walk out unless changes were made. Within hours, every outlet had the same headline: Heughan in feud over Macbeth ending. Fans were stunned. How could the man known for grace and professionalism be part of such chaos? Behind the scenes, things were spiraling. Rehearsals reportedly halted after a shouting match between two key team members. One actor anonymously told a journalist, "The atmosphere was suffocating. People were scared to speak. You could feel something was about to explode." The tension was so thick that even crew members started calling the project the cursed production. A stagehand was injured in a freak accident. A prop sword went missing before opening night. And one rehearsal was cancelled when the lights suddenly went out mid-scene. A coincidence, perhaps, but enough to send chills through the superstitious cast. And through it all, Sam remained silent. While tabloids painted him as difficult, colleagues described him as calm but visibly frustrated. "He wasn't angry," said one insider. "He was disappointed. He cared too much." Then came the night of the premiere, and the performance that changed everything. The show opened to a sold-out audience. Sam's Macbeth was electric, every line trembling with intensity. But backstage, people noticed something different about him. He wasn't acting anymore, he was living the role. His eyes burned, his hands trembled. When the curtain fell, the crowd roared with applause. But when Sam returned to his dressing room, he didn't smile. According to witnesses, he sat in silence for several minutes before saying quietly, "This isn't what it was meant to be." The next morning, headlines took a darker turn. RSC Macbeth scandal deepens. Was Heughan betrayed? Articles speculated that the director had cut crucial scenes without Sam's knowledge. Fans began to demand answers. On social media, hashtags like #MacbethScandal and #Justice for Sam trended worldwide. But Sam said nothing. For nearly a week, the silence was deafening. Reporters camped outside the theater. The RSC refused to comment, calling it an internal matter. But audiences could sense something was wrong. A tension in every performance, a distance between the cast. Then, finally, the turning point. During a live interview meant to promote the show, the host hesitantly brought up the rumors. "There's been talk about creative disagreements, even betrayal," she said carefully. "Is there any truth to it?" The studio went quiet. Sam looked down, then up again, directly into the camera. His expression was calm, almost too calm. "There's always truth in every rumor," he said slowly. "But not always the truth people expect." The room froze. The host blinked, unsure how to respond. And then, with a faint, weary smile, Sam added, "Let's just say, some stories are darker off stage than on it." The interview ended abruptly, but the damage was done. The internet exploded once more. What did he mean? Was he confirming the scandal? Who betrayed him? One thing was certain. Sam Heughan had just pulled the curtain back on something much bigger than anyone realized. And the world was about to hear the rest of the story. The day after Sam's interview, the theater world went silent. The kind of silence that always comes before a storm. Every major publication picked up his quote. Some stories are darker off stage than on it. It was mysterious, ominous, and powerful enough to turn rumor into revelation. What had really happened behind the velvet curtain of the Royal Shakespeare Company? By the next morning, anonymous emails began surfacing online. They claimed that the production had been plagued by manipulation and power struggles. One message, allegedly from a crew member, stated that artistic integrity had been sacrificed for politics. Another suggested that a senior producer had forced last-minute rewrites to please donors. And at the center of every message, the same name appeared. Sam Heughan. The story grew teeth. A journalist from The Guardian wrote, "This isn't just about one actor and one play. This is about what happens when truth is rewritten for profit." Soon after, Sam broke his silence again, this time, with purpose. He released a heartfelt video on his social media. Seated in a dimly lit room, with the faint sound of rain tapping the window, he spoke directly to the camera. "I've stayed quiet because I wanted to protect the people I've worked with. But I owe honesty to those who came to see the truth in Macbeth, and to the art itself." His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed exhaustion. He revealed that during rehearsals, several key scenes had been changed without his consent. The most controversial cut? Macbeth's final monologue. The one line that defines the character's tragic humanity. "Life's but a walking shadow." "I fought to keep that moment," Sam said quietly. "Because it's not just about death. It's about the cost of ambition, the emptiness of success. Things every artist understands. When it was removed, something essential died in me." He paused, his jaw tightening. And yes, there was conflict. But not out of ego, out of love for the work. Out of respect for Shakespeare. He admitted that the tension had grown unbearable. That trust had eroded within the cast and crew. And finally, in a voice barely above a whisper, he said the words that would echo through headlines for weeks. "I was asked to stay silent, to play the role, not to speak the truth. But silence isn't loyalty, it's complicity." The internet erupted. Supporters flooded his page with messages of admiration. "You're the real Macbeth," one fan wrote. "You fought for the soul of the story." But not everyone applauded. The RSC released an official statement within hours. "We are proud of our entire creative team. Artistic decisions are made collaboratively. We regret any misunderstanding." The statement avoided naming Sam, but its defensive tone said enough. The tension had officially gone public. Meanwhile, backstage accounts began leaking to the press. One insider claimed, Sam's passion for authenticity clashed with the director's vision. He wanted the darkness, they wanted something easier to sell. Another added, "He's not difficult, he's just uncompromising." Through the chaos, Sam refused to lash out. Instead, he continued to speak about art, truth, and the importance of integrity in storytelling. In one follow-up interview, he said, "Macbeth isn't a villain. He's a reflection of all of us when we forget who we are." I think maybe that reflection scared people. That single sentence turned him from an actor in a scandal to a symbol of artistic rebellion. Over the next few weeks, performances of Macbeth sold out completely. Fans came not just for Shakespeare, but to witness the tension that pulsed through every scene. And indeed, something changed. On stage, Sam's portrayal became more raw, more defiant, as if every line was a battle cry. In his final performance, he reportedly altered the last moment of the play. Instead of dying in silence, he looked out into the audience and whispered, "They tried to rewrite my story." The crowd gasped. Some said it was spontaneous. Others said it was rehearsed. Either way, it became legend. When the curtain fell that night, Sam Heughan walked off stage for the last time, not just from Macbeth, but from the production entirely. The next morning, he posted a final message to fans. "I'll always love this play, and everyone who brought it to life. But art must stay honest, or it's nothing. I'd rather lose the crown than wear it stained." That quote would go viral, reprinted across thousands of headlines, etched into fan edits, and quoted by actors around the world. The RSC never addressed the controversy again. The production continued with an understudy. But something intangible was gone, a fire that couldn't be recaptured. And for Sam Heughan, the scandal that threatened to end his career became something else entirely. A moment of truth, a stand for authenticity in an industry too often afraid of it. In the end, he said in a later interview, Macbeth wasn't cursed. The curse was forgetting why we tell stories in the first place. And with that, he walked away, leaving behind not just a scandal, but a legacy.